The old pilot sat beside the silent viewport of his drifting cargo ship and spoke to the empty stars as if they were listening. He said that long before the galaxy knew fear there had been one human who taught it what true precision meant. Back then, the pilot had been young and careless and had taken a contract to deliver medical crates to a frontier colony. The route passed through a border region claimed by raiders who loved to hunt anything that moved. Most captains avoided that stretch, but the payment was high and greed has always been louder than caution. The raiders did not disappoint. They appeared as shadows on the scanners, then as bright flares of weapons fire. The pilot knew he was done for when his engines failed and his ship drifted helplessly. That was when the human arrived. A small gray vessel slipped into the combat zone like a ghost. It did not broadcast threats or demands. It simply positioned itself between the raiders and the cargo ship. The pilot remembered thinking that the stranger was either very brave or very foolish. Then the shooting started. One by one, the raider ships lost their weapons. Not destroyed, not disabled, just cleanly removed from their hulls. Each shot was so precise that it sliced through metal without rupturing fuel lines or harming crews. The pilot watched in disbelief as the attackers became floating targets, stripped of their ability to fight. The gray vessel never fired twice at the same target. Every shot counted. Every shot was perfect. After only a few minutes, the raiders fled, leaving behind nothing but broken pride and silent ships. The human hailed the cargo vessel. The pilot expected a fierce warrior or a towering soldier. Instead, a calm voice answered through the com. The voice introduced itself as Kai. Kai explained that the raiders had been preying on Muncher, unarmed ships, and that this would be their last hunt for a long while. The pilot thanked the human and asked why they had risked their life for a stranger. Kai replied that humans believed in protecting the weak, and that a good shot was meant to save lives, not take them. Before the pilot could ask more, the gray ship vanished into faster-than-light, leaving behind only drifting starlight. Years passed, and the story of the Sharpshooter spread. Some said Kai was a myth. Others said the human was part of a secret force that guarded trade routes. A few believed Kai was just one of many humans who had mastered the art of impossible accuracy. The pilot knew the truth. He had seen it with his own eyes. One day he found himself on a distant station, far from the old routes. There he heard whispers of raiders returning stronger and more ruthless than ever. He also heard whispers of a lone human who had already begun hunting them. The pilot smiled and felt a rare sense of peace. Humans had a way of turning the tide of any conflict. They did not need overwhelming numbers or massive fleets. They only needed one steady hand and one clear shot the galaxy learned to respect. That, the pilot later encountered a group of traders who had also been saved by the same human. Each told a different version of the tale. Some claimed Kai could hit a moving target from across a planet. Others swore that the human once disabled a fleet using only a single rifle. The truth was likely simpler, yet no less amazing. Humans trained for patience. They studied trajectories and winds, even in the vacuum of space. They believed that every shot was a promise to do what was right. That belief made them terrifying to anyone who stood on the wrong side. The pilot eventually retired from the trade lanes. He spent his days telling stories to anyone who would listen. He always ended with the same warning: if you ever meet a human sharpshooter, be sure you are not their enemy, because they will never miss. Some listeners laughed, and others shrugged. But those who had seen humans in action nodded in quiet agreement. The galaxy was vast and full of dangers. Yet one small species had carved a reputation that echoed across the stars. They were not the strongest. They were not the most advanced. They were simply the most precise. And in a universe where one shot could change everything, that was more than enough. The old pilot leaned back and closed his eyes. He knew that somewhere out there Kai was still watching, still waiting, still ready. The raiders would learn again what he had learned long ago. Pray you never meet a human sharpshooter.